the resident had to
Oh,
have
is
it.
it? They do it the first few
Yeah,
months.
just
Yeah.
government and
You just pretend these are kind of a couple of young couples.
I was looking at you like a student. You're a young
No,
look
I
on you.
remember 10th grade. I took it 3 times, but I had it by the end of 10th grade. I had it nailed. I tell you what the real punchline on that.
Were you a super senior?
I'm a super senior. I'm a super.
Super
At
senior.
Pine Grove, we have super salad. I call it the super salad.
Super salad. Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. We have our 3-minute public comment period, and Mike, you have your timer for us, please, tonight. Thank you for that. Would anyone like to adjust the board tonight for 3 minutes?
Just a question on that 3 minutes. Is it 3 minutes and then another 3 minutes, or could we get 3 minutes and get it all over with?
I'm sorry?
Is there going to be 1 3 minutes, or can there be more than 1 3 minutes to speak?
Together you want to adjust the board for 6 minutes?
Yes.
3 and 3.
Or 3 each?
Yes.
Same difference.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You're welcome to speak if you aren't ready.
Okay. Patty, it's been over 2 years since we first asked you about repairing the sidewalk across from Sunmount. At that time, you told us there was no money in the budget. That was in 2017. In 2018, you and the board never allotted any money for the sidewalk. As a matter of fact, you wanted to abandon it. But the state office in Watertown and Governor Cuomo has instructed you that this sidewalk is your responsibility as town supervisor to have it repaired and maintained. Now in 2020, you and the board have not put money aside to repair or maintain this sidewalk. Do we have to ask Governor Cuomo to stop by your office next time he's driving through Tupper Lake on his way to Lake Placid? Do you think that you don't have to comply with the state request to repair and maintain this sidewalk? Are you above the laws of New York State? I don't think so. So you think that you should do it now as the supervisor of the town. We have sent copies of this letter and of John's to Governor Cuomo and to Watertown, hoping that they will cause you to do some work on the sidewalk.
Okay, thank you very much. Sean?
I have a little trouble standing up because I'm unable to keep the face. This is very short, which is unusual for me. In talking to various people who have a background in religion, there are several passages, you can probably get this, in the Bible that I would like to direct to you. But I'm going to put it in layman's terms. Go ahead and turn your head. Layman's terms, so you understand it. You can't shake hands with people who have clenched fists because you don't understand. And there's a famous man whose birthday was this week, and his comments were, I walk slowly forward, but I never walk backwards. And that's my theme. I walk forward, and I'm never going to walk backwards on this particular issue of the sidewalk. My further comments will be letters to the editors of Tupper Lake Free Press, Adirondack Daily Enterprise, Lake Placid News, and the Sun. Thank you for allowing me my 3 minutes.
Thank you. Anyone else here for the public comment period?
Katie and I.
Bruce is here tonight. Thank you for coming, Michelle,
Well,
Katie.
we're going to attempt to combine our 3 minutes.
Okay. What's up with Bruce?
Thank you, guys. I'm Michelle Coma. I'm the Director of Marketing for Roost. Does anyone need to know me? I'm Katie Stewart. I'm the Tupper Lake Regional Marketing Manager at Roost. And we're both Tupper Lake natives.
And we're glad you're here.
Yeah, so we actually just wanted to come and meet with you this evening and talk about looking towards setting up a meeting with the town, the village, and the LDC to go over the 2020 marketing plan and look at some of the things that we have in mind. And we're looking forward to nice collaborative partnership as we work into 2020 and future years. And then we just wanted to give you a quick moment to just share some of the fun updates that we've been working on.
Okay.
I'm going to show this cool picture. This was actually at the New York Times Travel Show. In January, we went by, our team went down, we represented the 3 counties for the Adirondacks at the New York Times Travel Show. It's the largest travel show in the US. And so
Tupper Lake really right on the front page right there?
right there, that's a photo that I took, so I was proud.
That's awesome.
And so we, at that, we were kind of building awareness of the Adirondacks, but with all the different communities there and their brochures on the table, I was actually blown away and shocked in many ways of like the people that would come up and recognize Tupper Lake and would have really some awesome engaging
That's
conversations. So that's just one thing I wanted to share that's most recently, but I'm going to actually hand it over to Katie because she's into the daily nitty gritties of all the things Tupper Lake.
Couple cool recent updates. One of the bigger projects we've been working on, well, 2 with the Wild Center. We partnered with them and took out a page ad in the Horizon Travel and Lifestyle magazine. It's an insert in the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a half-page ad. I'll show you. And then there's underneath it is a half-page editorial talking about traveling to Tupper Lake in the summer and a family destination along with time in the Wild Center. So that goes out to 230,000 readers of the Wall Street Journal. It goes out on March 5th. So we're super excited about that.
I like the placement of Tupper Lake on that one.
And with that came 120 5-second commercial spots on the Good Morning America Times Square screen. Like the big
Really?
screen. Yeah. So that's really exciting. So
How many?
There's 120 5-second commercials.
That's good.
So tying Tupper Lake and the Wild Center together. So we put that together and sent it off to them, and that also starts in March.
Great.
So yeah, we're really excited
Thanks
about
for that.
Yeah. Another thing with the Wild Center, we purchased a digital kiosk, a touchscreen kiosk. It's going to kind of partner with their Plan Your Visit desk, where they always have a volunteer there.
Yep.
But many times it's pretty busy. So this kiosk will house tupperlake.com. So a visitor can go up and tap on it and find lodging and dining and breweries and all the good things that we have to offer in Tupper, hopefully driving more traffic into the community.
Well, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, so that
Because they don't always get the time to volunteer.
right. So we're working on designing the home screen right now, and then it gets shipped the end of the month, and we will have it ready for the busy season.
Wonderful.
Set up in the Wild Center. Couple other things. Northern Challenge had the biggest year this year. 1,450 registers, which is super exciting. I've been talking to them about next year and what we can do better and to help maintain that event. I talked to Wendy Proza today. Tin Man is already have 350 athletes signed up. That's over 16% more than we had this time last year. That's really exciting. So and just a couple highlights. We've been working on the 2020 marketing plan, and we had a meeting this morning about it actually. So we'll be setting up a meeting to chat with you about the priorities for this year. The trails, obviously, and the golf course and the beach. There's a lot going on. I think this summer it's all going to come together. So we're
Very,
excited
very
about it.
good.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, for taking good care of us whenever I call you for
Anytime.
lots of things. We call on roofs all the time around here, and they're very good to us. So we appreciate that. Did you want to address the board, Mr. Lanthier?
Yes, I just have a couple show and tell things here.
Okay.
Actually, I'm very impressed with what you guys have going up at the mountain. I want to personally tell you guys that.
You mean the
Up
golf
at the
course?
golf course.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
And here's a couple photos I just wanted to show you of the golf course area
Oh, cool.
over on Sugarloaf Mountain.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The good old days.
And I brought these in because these
The
are
lodge.
part of the whole history of Big Tupper. And I have an idea just in my head that I just wanted to spark to you
What?
guys is any possibilities
Recognize anybody?
of coordinating with all your skiing there at Big Tupper. If there's ever a possibility, could the town repurchase Sugarloaf Mountain and
Sure.
put a T-bar in there?
I think isn't that part of the association?
Owned by the
Owned by them,
Yeah, so
Part of
that would
it.
be just something to
Yeah.
look forward to. That would be great for Tupper Lake, I think.
Yeah.
Go back to our roots, Jim?
Just an idea.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you
And
not giving those to me?
Actually, I got some better ones.
$35.
And that has the old lodge below.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is now,
That burned.
oh, and
That
where
was the
was
log,
it,
that
where
was
the,
the log, that was the
what
log
is it right
house.
now?
It burned down.
Oh, it was the log one?
And that was built with the trees cut from this out.
Yeah.
And you can see from the lower 9, you can still see the lake.
Yeah. Look at that, yeah.
Where was the access road to Sugarloaf? Did it go along number 3?
What, where it is right now? I believe.
Going up the mountain, the only thing that they didn't go that far, it stopped at the top of Sugarloaf, right, where the tank
No,
is.
no, but where?
Right near the water tank, the new water tank?
Is that where people drove in and parked?
And as far as for my time, I'm good, so just talk about this all you want.
Thank you. We'll take your time.
Jim, I'd like, we still got a minute or two. Would you be willing to hang some of those pictures in our entranceway here? If we talked to the Arts Council, I spoke with Ed Donnelly, who does all their work for them, and they were gonna get with us and change out pictures like on a quarterly basis or something like that, that we could hang going up the stairs, that people could look at and see. Is that something that you would possibly be willing to do with us?
Well, there, and I'll talk to you more about it.
Okay.
And we have the show on February 14th. You know it?
Yes. Yep.
February 14th. I thought it was in March.
No.
No, it's
Oh,
tomorrow.
the big
Yeah.
Tupper one?
Video, the big Tupper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I'm glad here. I'm talking. Yeah. And
How long does it last?
and all these pictures are going to be there, so you'll see and you'll have an idea.
How long is
Well,
that show going
and
on?
we can. It's going to go on until the spring. I don't have a specific date.
Okay.
March,
It's a
So
month,
through
month,
March,
month
yeah,
or so.
must be where I got that in my head.
Well, we had been talking about having like a rotating, put some pieces up.
Yeah, and we can. So I want to talk more. Like I said. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk some more.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Anyone else want to address the board for your 3-minute public comment period?
Matt?
I don't have anything to say.
Fabian?
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Anything to add to the agenda? I have one thing that was brought to us by our attorney regarding the authorization to approve the standardized notice form for 30-day advance notice to a local municipality or community board, and this is regarding the liquor permit application for the Tupper Lake Golf Club restaurant and bar. So we'll put that as 10.7. Just going to write on here on my agenda, Lori, authorized 30-day advance notice. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, we want to waive that.
Yeah. Okay. So number 5 on the agenda, to approve the minutes for the meeting dated December 30th, 2019, as presented by the clerk.
I'll move that.
Thank you. Number 6, or sorry, Mike. Thank you. We're done. Mike, a second, please.
I'll second.
Mary. Questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Number 6, to authorize abstract of audited vouchers in the amount of $312,000, $312,976.05. Authorize budget transfers in the amount of $2,200, and authorize budget modifications in the amount of $18,193.45. And this was all in your packet. And I know your packet with the holiday for the office probably was not, you probably didn't have as many days this month as previous, so.
Patty,
hopefully
can I
you have a
move this
chance.
all in one?
Yeah, that's why we put it all under one.
Okay.
Unless you have a question with either party, but otherwise if you approve, if you wanna move all of them, you can do so.
I would like to make a motion to move all of them. One for $312,976.05, $2,200, and $18,193.45, as stated in our packet.
Mike
Second.
and John, questions or comments? Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Number 7, to approve town monthly reports. Here's the sheet for you, John. Let's see what we have in here. Board of enforcement report. We have our board youth activities report. We'll talk about our adventures at the Tupper Lake Golf Club during the board committee reports. Youth Sea Club is going quite well, and the Lumberjack Scramble is set for Saturday. We have racers coming from Old Forge, Lake Placid, and Saranac Lake. And anyone else who would like to join us, we'll have lots of prizes and raffles and refreshments. Also, Tupper Tumbling is gonna happen soon, and that is to be held at the Maddox Building this year. And Angie's got a lot, every spot is just about full. We've got a couple of spots open, so if you have a child that hasn't registered or would like to, or you know someone, to please get a hold of Angie, because I think we do have a couple of spots to be filled. I know of one that will be vacant this year. So we're continuing to take reservations for the campsites at the beach and the pavilion, but I would be willing to bet that the month of July is fully booked at Little Wolf Campsite. I can double check that, but typically by this time of year, it's booked. And those are and our dog control report, we have that. 3 complaints and 3 complaints answered. Handed out 2 complaint forms and have not received them back. Once again, that's a reminder that when people complain about their dog, a dog, and the dog control officer goes to see the person, it's hard for him to enforce the law if he doesn't have a formally written and signed complaint. So if a person just calls, say you call and there's a dog running at large and you call the dog catcher, come and get the dog. By the time the dog catcher gets there, no matter how quick, typically the dog is not there anymore because they're running at large. And if this is a problem that continues, the dog control officer will ask you to sign a complaint, and then he can go talk to the owner of the dog. And if people won't sign the complaint, then it isn't really a complaint, because lots of worlds I live in, if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. Right, Madeline? We live that life.
Exactly.
So, just a reminder that it's important to be able to sign the complaint for him to do his job. Town of Tupper Lake Highway Department report.
Patty, just,
Yes.
on that, the forms were handed out, is there a time limit if he brings him a form?
No.
Whenever, so if they.
He can't act on anything officially until they sign it.
Okay.
So, some
You
people
give it
have
to
had
them, they can bring it
complaints.
to it now.
So,
A
I
week
know of
later.
one incident where a person had a complaint for a year. They complained off and on and off and on. He handed them the form, but they never signed it. And finally they signed it, and he could formally address, he could issue tickets and things like that. So, you know, it's the way he can always talk to the person without signing a complaint, but it doesn't carry any weight unless there's a signature, like a lot of things. Highway Department report. Lots of plowing and sanding and picking up snow and grooming lately, so that's a
Better
good
than
thing.
rain.
Huh?
Better than rain.
You wanna know it. That's what we have for the committee reports. The press all has copies of those in their packets as well. Could I please get a motion to approve the committee reports?
Move.
John?
Second.
Mary? Questions or comments? Roll call vote?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Aye. Under old business, we have the town attorney retainer agreement to approve tonight. And everyone's had a chance to review that. Do we have a motion to approve that report?
There weren't any major changes in this.
No. No.
I'll make the motion to accept it.
Mike? Anyone else? Second? John?
Is the amount?
The
Is that
amount
increased?
is an increase from last year, as we put in the budget, $1,000.
Yep, okay.
Okay, so it's $25,000 for the year, paid on a monthly basis for $2,083.34 to Kirk Gagne, attorney. I'm thankful for his service. Roll call vote?
Aye.
Aye.
There's a lot of history with the town down there at 51 Lake Street. That Kirk is lucky enough to be there. so we're glad for that. Number 10. Oh, do we have? Oh, I did the town monthly reports, but not the committee reports. I skipped it. I got my tick mark on the wrong one.
Second
Thank
month
you
in a
for
row
telling me.
forgot this.
Did I?
Second,
Keep watching me, Dan. So committee
I
reports.
think you don't wanna hear from John Finn about your
I do want.
Which actually.
I referred to him. Well, I referred to him when I was talking about the youth report, and then skipped right over the number because I checked off the wrong one. Mary.
I don't have anything right now. We all survived the snowstorm and all the roofs are,
Intact.
yep,
Nothing's leaking.
nothing's leaking.
We're glad for that. Thank you. Mike.
The Country Club Board of Directors has contracted with the former Marketplace restaurant, and they have purchased all of their equipment that was in their kitchen up there. They've completely stocked the kitchen up to the golf course now, except for the dishwasher, which we have agreed to spend up to $5,000 on to help out with that. If you remember when we did that, they were asking for a dishwasher and a 3-bay sink. Well, in their purchases that they bought from the former Marketplace, they got a 3-bay sink included in everything that they purchased. They bought
So they won't need
ovens,
to
they
be buying.
bought coolers, heating ovens, fryers. I mean, anything that was in that kitchen up there, they purchased. They purchased plates and glasses and anything that could be used up to the golf course. Kelly and Jimmy were very helpful in allowing them to purchase stuff at a real reduced price.
Nice.
I think they spent somewhere around $7,500 to stock the kitchen. The only thing that they're missing now is the dishwasher. We had a purchase order for a dishwasher and a sink, but seeing that they bought a sink, they would like to see if they could get a better dishwasher for the cost of the $5,000 instead of they're trying to get one a little bit bigger to accommodate more. So we're waiting on Jerry Goldman to get back to me on a purchase order not to exceed $5,000.
Yeah.
So those guys have been very, very helpful this year. Their board has decided that they feel it's time for them to give back to the club, to the building and the restaurant, and they're doing a great job at doing that. I mean, all this equipment that's being purchased is going to belong to the town. When they get it, we're going to try to get it installed with the help of our people, and after it gets installed, it will be the property of so they're basically giving us $7,500.
We'll get a solid inventory list of
after everything's in.
make and
Mary
models
and I
and
talked
everything.
about it. Of course, Mary's the expert in this. That we should probably take a picture of each
Yeah.
item
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and give it to our insurance agent and say, and then
Put it on record.
increase the insurance on the building, Patty. I'm sure that hasn't been done in many years. Mary, maybe you
The
could-
business personal property.
Yeah. We've had those adjustments in the last 2-3 years.
When we had that guy come up. And,
Yeah.
So that's the building,
But-
so you wanna.
But the contents will be upgraded because of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because with the dishwasher and everything they purchased, we're talking, $13,000-$15,000
Yeah.
worth of
That'll go over our
equipment
house.
that is going to be in that
Yeah.
building now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
We definitely want to have that.
as we're going to talk about the liquor license thing, the new leasee, Jamie Armstrong, is going forward strong, trying to get everything up and running for the beginning of the season.
Sounds good.
So Mike, with this new equipment, and you did mention, I think it should be inventoried, I think a list should be
Great.
maintained. It rubbed me a little the wrong way where you get a person to come in there that is leasing the restaurant operation. Well, this stove is no good on his own, and gets rid of it. If this
Yes.
is town property, we need to know before it's gotten rid of, so we can keep our
Exactly.
inventory
And I
up to
believe,
date.
like Mary had recommended, taking a picture of each of the equipment that is purchased and put in there, showing that it's in good shape, and it's help us, legally if we ever had to do anything too. I don't think we've ever had that before in all the years that I've been on the country club board.
They had originally, when I first came to the board, there was a paper clipped or stapled list of equipment with the mowers and things like that
schedule.
attached. No, it wasn't. It was just a list. It was like this mower, that mower, this mower, this sink, that stove, if it was a sink and stove, I don't even remember now. There weren't many items, it was just bulleted on a piece of paper stapled to the back of the agreement between the club and ourselves. And so we wanna make it a little more in-depth and formal, and
Yeah.
maybe every year they should be inspected and we know that they're in good running order at the end of the year, or the beginning of the year, whatever, you know, so we know the condition of our equipment. To avoid what you just said, where somebody would come in and say, why, you know, that stove is no good. Well, maybe to somebody else it would be good, you know, we don't know, we probably need.
They wouldn't have the authority to take anything out of the kitchen, like John said, it is town
No.
property.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Mary suggested we take pictures, put it on a thumb drive, and give
Give it to Bell Mills.
it
Next
to
door
our
and say,
insurance
yep.
agent, and we should have a copy of that down here,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so we have it.
that's a good idea to do all that.
Yeah, with the digital age, it's simple to do, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to inventory that and
Yeah,
put stuff on a
Yeah.
thumb drive.
that'd be great,
And with all, I
we'd be
mean,
happy if you do it for us.
I think it's great that they've got it, but with that equipment that now becomes the town's, comes the responsibility to maintain it. And if the guy is on a weekend and things are hopping and the stove craps out,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean.
well, that's the same thing with the urinals, we've encountered that over the years, over the course of years.
Mhm.
Hot water tanks, you know,
Yeah.
things happen.
Yep.
It's in the middle of
Yep.
a busy weekend, a 4th of July weekend, or we have always in the past got somebody there to
Mhm.
take care of business.
Mhm.
You know, it's no different than if you're leasing a house from somebody and the roof started leaking, you know, it's our
But
responsibility.
up till now, some of the equipment was the club's.
Yes.
Some was ours. We
There is
have to
no more of
decide.
that.
So it's all ours, all our responsibility.
Okay. That's good,
That's
Yep.
good for you.
got anything else?
Nope.
Couple things. I noticed in Bill's report about all the plowing, I'm happy to report that I was in Florida when the storm hit. But I heard.
Missed a good one.
Well, I'm enjoying the snow that's up on the trails now, I'll tell you, it's great skiing, but those guys were obviously very busy. I also saw and heard grumbling about the grooming for the snowmobiles.
Mhm.
In my mind, keeping our roads plowed and open is Bill and his crew's #1 responsibility.
Absolutely, safety first.
After that, if we have time, then we do the grooming. But,
Mhm.
you know, the roads, my hat's off, Bill, you guys have done a great job on that. And the grooming, you know, I think I
done.
saw where you went out on Sunday or something. The storm was what, on Friday or Saturday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the storm was Friday night into Saturday.
Yep.
The plowing, and I talked to Derek over the weekend a couple of times, cause Billy was out on vacation. And they were out cleaning up and tending, and our groomer is also a wingman. So he doubles as a wingman, the wingman part of his job comes first during the plow time. And he was willing to go out on Sunday after working, I'm sure, long hours Friday and Saturday during the storm. And he took another member with him, so now we have another guy on the crew that is familiar with the direction he was going, and also to trim any trees that might have come down because of the storm, so the groomer can pass through easily, because the guy who's doing the grooming it's easier if he doesn't have to get out of it to clear the trail. And you never know, I mean, the trees in my yard were hanging and all over town, I know.
John spent a lot of time with the
Yeah,
workers.
yeah, so they did a good job, they went out Sunday, they took care of it, and all the complainers rescinded, I think, a lot of their complaints with compliments after that. And I think it's just a lack of understanding, and people don't understand that we have a 6-man crew at the highway department. That's not 25 years ago, we might have had a 12-man crew. That's the same as at the village, the crews are much smaller than they used to be, so that sort of storm takes a lot of time for that few people to take care of. Derek told me that the snow was coming down so fast at one point that it was, you would attest to this, I'm sure, 4.5 hours before he got back to redo that loop, and there were over 6 inches of snow on the ground.
Yep.
You know, we don't have 12 trucks cleaning up so you know, it was a long haul.
Well, I think
I think
everybody
they did
that
a
was
great
in Tupper
job.
Lake witnessed it, Patty.
Yeah.
You see, in your driveways, I did my driveway, by the time I was done, I had to start all over again.
Yeah.
It was coming
I
down
had a
that
tractor
hard.
stuck in mine for about 5 hours on ice because the tricky part about this storm was the trucks, like where I live off of Lake Simon Road, they were backing down the side streets because it was easier for them to get back up. And so that takes time. You can't back down a road as fast as you can drive down the road, so it slows things up a little bit. And the snow was followed by a lot of rain, so there was a lot of ice underneath the snow, as you all know. And you can spin to death on ice without getting anywhere, even though you're in 8 inches of snow. You're still gonna hit that ice and not move. So it was a good job, I feel, by the highway crew and also the grooming done Sunday and Monday. So all that's been caught up, and we have our snowmobile contract in this packet tonight to sign for the miles of trail that we get reimbursed for via the county from New York State Parks and Recreation. And we coordinate our grooming quite well with other departments who were not out either over the weekend at all, and we were. So, you know, at this end, St. Lawrence County was out. Yeah, St. Lawrence County was out. And so I think there was a good job done in spite of the weather and in spite of the critiques, but you know, we're gonna get that anyway. Social media is gonna critique everything a lot of times without knowing the full story and all the information, so.
Since I was actually part of the social media on this, can
Were
I
you
actually?
criticizing our groomer, John?
Actually, I wasn't. You know what I was wondering? Listen.
Just calling you out for a second.
No, that's all right. It's is there any possibility that anyone from the Snowmobile Club could get onto your insurance policy?
I'm sorry?
Like someone from the Snowmobile Club, for when you guys are busy, is there any volunteers?
That is a conversation for after this meeting, but I don't know
Okay.
the answer to that right now. But yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Okay, because I heard from different snowmobiles, so I think there's some solutions to this.
Yeah,
Thank you.
maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Insurance
yeah.
and liability have
'Cause I
play
got
into
sworn
all
at.
that. Yeah.
By Reese Fleury.
Oh,
I got sworn at by him.
well.
But he's the one who initially said go and talk to the board, so he's the first person to bring that one up
Sometimes
himself.
that happens. We'll try and curtail all that for the next round.
Right. So like I said, so there was a little situation, and I don't snowmobile, but I do see what the situation is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Want to talk about the cross country
The,
dedication ceremony?
yeah, it was in Angie's report, but it was a happy event to recognize someone who we named the trails after, Jim Furnett, to have him be around for it, I think was great. I
That
was
was
out
a good-
yesterday playing around, doing some work on the trails, and who do I meet? Jim Furnett, skiing, 91 years old. Trails are in good shape. We do have the Little Logger Scramble this weekend. Sounds like we'll get some attendance.
When does that start, John?
Starts at 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Bring your mittens.
Woohoo.
We had
With hand warmers.
What is that?
Cross-country ski races for kids. So we have this cross-country ski program that we run from here, Tuesdays and Thursdays at the golf course at our cross-country ski trails that the town operates. And then we have, every year we have an invitational. So lots of kids from Old Forge come, and Lake Placid, and some from Saranac Lake, and our own kids from Tupper Lake, be it part of our program or otherwise. And we have a little, you know, we have medals that we give out, silver, gold, and bronze, and the podium, and the whole 9 yards. You've been to it, Aaron, or no? To that? But yeah, and there's lots of us family members there, and lots of volunteers. The trails are in great shape. We'll have a fun day.
Speaking of the kids skiing, Aaron, you did a great job on an article. Tim Burke was here.
Yeah, that was
Kids
thrilling.
loved it. He's really good with the kids. Very good content. Had a lot of fun. So,
That was the best turnout for cross-country ski day. Like, every kid that was registered actually came. A lot of times they miss for, you know, dentist or whatever, so they don't all get there together every single time at the same time, and every single one was there to meet Tim Burke, and he was wonderful with the kids. They had a great day.
Moving on to broadband, Mike and I met with the informal committee. We're still in the data analyzation, I guess. We do have some, people are, I don't want to characterize it unfairly, but I think, we do hear people feel they pay too much for the service they get. There are some complaints about reliability, the lead time it takes to get someone in to fix a cable, notwithstanding what happened with Spectrum throughout, I guess, northern New York and some of the New England states this weekend. But what we'd like to do is take that information. Phil Wagshall, who's on the committee, who also is a former SLIC employee, would be willing to talk to an internet service provider, namely SLIC, since they're the only one that provides residential internet, residential internet, to see what alternatives would be available to people, businesses, and residents to Spectrum or DirecTV or whatever they have now. So I think that information will be helpful. We also kicked around the idea, since Phil has expertise in technology that I certainly am lacking, is we are in the middle of renegotiating a franchise agreement with Charter, aka Spectrum, and it might be an opportunity to ask Spectrum, are there things that could be done? Here's, one survey that shows there is some dissatisfaction with quality, reliability, cost. Is there something that could be done to improve our system? Whether it's improving the cable itself that comes through the community, maybe providing fiber service, maybe replacing outdated modems. He has the expertise to do that. I don't think there's much we can demand. We certainly, I don't think we would want to negotiate a higher franchise fee, because that just gets passed along to the consumer. That serves no one other than Spectrum. So I would suggest that we talk to Phil and maybe have Patty be authorized to enter an agreement with Phil. I don't know what he would charge, but we're lucky to have guys like him and Dave Wolf from Dank helping us, Joe Hockey, who is a former SLIC employee. These guys have that qualifications and knowledge that they can talk the lingo that may need to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
So
megahertz and all that stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know if you'd want me to put that into a motion.
I wouldn't want to agree to any amount without first the board approving that. So
Okay.
certainly, I'd like to talk to Phil and go over. Does he have copies of our franchise agreements because of the broadband committee or not?
I think Melissa does. So
Okay, so I can get them for him.
Yeah.
And then we can meet. When is your next meeting?
Not till April 23rd.
So we can meet between that now and then.
Sure.
Okay. So I don't know if we need a motion for that. Or
Okay.
Phil, the knowledge that he brings to these meetings between, like John said, Dave Wolf and Joe Hockey, they live this stuff. That's Phil's job.
Yeah.
With him representing the town by basically as having a lawyer. You have a lawyer that tells you your legal fees, and these guys could help us by telling Spectrum what we're looking for and understand what they're saying back to us.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea to see if we could get Phil to work on our behalf for sure.
Plus, I remember about a year or so ago, I had another kind of an expert in the field, Mark Goomlin, review that franchise agreement and draft some language that he would recommend. So that would be something we could go over too, yeah, yeah. So he and I can talk about that. And,
Okay.
you know, we could put it in the form of a motion if you want to get something settled before our next board meeting. And that way I could just give you, touch base with everybody about the figure, or we can say not to exceed a certain amount, or, do you have any idea? Nothing.
Can't we?
Why don't I talk to him
Talk to
first? Yeah, I'll find out first.
Okay.
And then if we have to have a special meeting to get things moving, we can do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd like to move forward. with
Okay.
that, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right, so that's good. Yep, we'll get all our paperwork together.
I think the timing is right for this, Patty, with what's been
Yeah.
happening, and, of course, you read in the paper what happened at the village board meeting with one of the, people that came and, you know, with what happened with Spectrum, with the charge that they got charged, you know,
Oh, yeah.
$30.
There's an article in the paper about
March
it today, I
dates.
think, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so this is a good time to really, you know, we haven't closed out our agreement yet. It's a good
Yeah.
time to move forward.
We
And
still have lots of time to work on it, so that's good. Yeah,
Can I
we'd love
ask
his
a question?
expertise.
Would this be available to the general public?
I'm sorry.
Would this, if you got a deal with the computer situation, would it be available to everybody that lives around here, or?
We're so far away from knowing whether that even is
Okay.
possible, but certainly,
Ultimately, that's our
Well,
hope.
No,
That's
Yeah.
what,
I
that's
have
what
a
we
that's
Spectrum
what our
that
hope
was my
is, yeah.
computer, and
yeah,
that's what we
Yeah.
hope to see happen.
hopefully.
It's a long way down the road.
Yeah, we're working on it though. Everything takes forever. Good,
And we will be reporting that, in that survey, we asked people if they wanted to be kept abreast of where we are, that we let them know by email. So we're gonna just give a very brief summary of what the situation is currently.
mhm,
So that should be going out, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, I got the email today, got a chance to peruse it too.
Yeah.
I tell you, this is very interesting stuff.
yeah,
You know, it was what I did when I was at the prison, at the end of my career, but these guys, I can't say enough about Joe Hockey and Phil and Dave. They're just,
yeah,
We're lucky to have.
we are.
yeah,
We're very lucky
That's
to have
great.
them on the committee, John. You did a good job bringing those guys in.
yep. Very good.
That's all I have.
Okay. Most of the things that everybody's talked about, I was a part of, so I don't have anything other to offer. It's just, you know, I know there's been some things in the paper about the county and the bed tax and the roofs and the LDC, and I just want everybody to know that the town of Tupper Lake's contract with roofs doesn't expire until June 1st. So we are going to be working with all these parties and roofs to see where we're at and where the bed tax will help us best at this end of the county. So just that will take some conversations and some meetings and discussions between the town and roofs and the county. So we'll be working on it, and we'll keep you abreast of those conversations and meetings as they come up. We hope to get one scheduled in the near future. So yeah, we don't have any changes or anything cast in stone yet to share. Just in the works, and again, our contract is not going to expire until June. So we're still in good shape with roofs, and we're glad for that, as we just gave them a list of things we need help with, so that's good. We appreciate that. So thank you very much. I'm glad you guys came tonight. Now we have new business to approve the 2020 Little Wolf Campground Rules and Regulations. This is something we've been working on for a couple of months now, based on feedback from the operator of the beach and Angie. Thank you. And I think it was in there's not a whole lot of changes, like drastic changes. It's mostly clarification of details, just to keep everything kind of more organized at Little Wolf Beach and Campsite. So the big thing is the campers who come in for the season, their money is due by May 1st. We used to have times back in the day where people straggled in with their payments, and
Do May 1st?
Pardon? May
May
1st. Drop dead date. May 2nd, that campsite goes
You're
to retail.
Fraction.
It goes back on the lot for anybody to get a weekend. So, you know, one thing about Little Wolf is we know that there are a lot of seasonal spots down there. So I can tell you that this board has agreed that as one seasonal cancels their seasonal spot by age or whatever, they leave and they don't come back, that does not, we're not resetting it up for another seasonal. We wanna be able to have more sites open to rent on a weekly or, you know, weekend basis, so we can get more recreation and tourism going on down at Little Wolf campsite. So, we turn so many people away. That campsite could be, we have 50 sites, we could have 200 sites, and we'd still be turning people away, I think. Especially the month of July when everybody wants to travel. Camping is very, very big business these days. And the other thing about Little Wolf campsite is that campsite was built many, many, many years ago when campers were this big, and now they're like, so we've had to make adjustments between regulations with the health department and the footprint that people had, and adjust where they can place. Gradually, we're trying to like get a clear idea, and our wish is down the road that we actually have a marked out area. This is exactly where the camper goes every time, and then we can create better lawns in between and things like that. So at this point, sometimes we get a small camper, a large camper, so it's kind of hard to do that, but there's a lot more large campers than small campers that come in these days. And we have a beautiful campsite, and it's becoming very, very popular. So that's what we want. So anyhow, everyone's had a chance to review this. Angie's worked on it really hard with the caretaker of the beach and myself, and our attorneys reviewed it, and he's happy with the language in it. And again, it's not drastically different, it's mostly just tidying up some details. Could I please get a motion to approve this?
Moved.
Mary, thank you.
I'll second it, but I have a question, I guess, on it. before
Okay,
we vote.
questions or comments?
The last thing that looks like an attorney's thing, it says Little Wolf Beach Campground reserves the right to take action at equity, blah, blah, blah. I think it's the town of Tupper Lake.
Oh, yeah, that would probably be more appropriate there.
So I guess with that wording change,
Yeah.
I'm willing to vote for it.
And Patty, I read here where it says about fireworks.
Yeah.
If fireworks are launched on the campground, the pilot will receive 2 warnings.
Mm-hmm.
Should they get 2 warnings? I mean, that campground is loaded with dry pine needles.
It's also loaded with fireworks, just so you know.
Really?
It's the 4th of July every day down there some weeks.
I don't, I don't think they should have fireworks down there.
Well, there are some legal fireworks, and what they do is they put them, I have not witnessed them. What I understand is they're way down on the shoreline, and there's a cleanup crew and there's papers, and it's never been a problem.
The caretaker runs it and he experiences
Yeah.
it, but from my point of view, working with pine needles are like the scarecrow with the fire. I just would hate to see.
So, release of fireworks are not permitted. That's in there, that's what you're asking for, right? If fireworks are launched in the campground, the violator will receive 2 warnings. Upon a 3rd warning, the camper must vacate their site and forfeit their seasonal campsite permanently. And maybe we want to say in there seasonal and or campsite, because it could be just someone in for a week or now that you say that, Mike. Fireworks may be launched on the public beach away from the campsites. We're talking about people who do launch them off in the campsite, and so you're saying not 2 warnings, but vacate immediately.
Well, 1 warning would be enough as far as I'm concerned. I don't go back again and say,
How do you feel about that?
don't do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a serious enough offense that if you do it again, you're gone.
Okay,
Both from fire and personal
Yep.
safety.
Yes,
so 1 warning.
1 warning.
Okay,
Okay, that's,
and upon a 2nd warning,
you would be asked to be.
Yep. okay.
And interesting, smoking, it says you can't smoke on a concession stand on the beach or in the pavilion. Use of a trash trash receptacle for cigarette butts, do not litter. Do you really want people putting cigarette butts in
the
your
trash receptacle.
It's not a trash receptacle, it's a butt thing,
So it's
you
just
know,
another
so that's
word.
just the way they're defining it. It's a trash receptacle for cigarette butts, exclusively.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
And there are a couple of those, and they do smoke in the campsite, and they do smoke in the pavilion if you have a party and people are smokers and they smoke. But we also have those, I don't know what they're called, you know.
Yep.
And, yeah, but there is no smoking on the beach.
You could read that many ways.
Yeah.
I read an article once where cops help dog bite victim.
Yeah.
So,
Say
that's
that?
really just how you read it. Cops help dog bite victim.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
how do you read it, right?
They help the dog bite the victim?
Or did they help the
Help
dog?
the, help the
Common
victim
name.
back,
Oh,
step
no.
shot, go at it.
It wasn't one of your dogs.
Anything else you guys see on here?
Yeah, that's good.
So John, let's see, Mary, would you like to change that motion to say, with changes in place, or with
Yes.
edits, with edits?
So
What did you
I
say?
move that we approve the 2020 Little Wolf Campground rules and regulations with the edits we have made.
Okay, John?
Yep. Sure, second.
And roll call vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Good work. 10.2, approve snowmobile agreement with Franklin County. This is an annual, the funding breakdown is as follows. The town of Tupper Lake will receive 70% of $1,646.40, which is what the per mileage rate is for the miles that we groom. And we don't choose how many miles, the state tells us how many miles, and they take X number of miles, they give it to Franklin County divvies it up amongst all the clubs in the county based on their grooming needs. So the amount breaks out to be $1,646 that the town will get, and what we agreed to previously is that 30% of that would go to the Tupper Lake Snowmobile Club, a total of $705.60. This money comes in two parts. We get part of it beginning of the winter and part of it at the end of the winter. And the total is $2,352. So 70% to the town, 30% to the club. And the reason why the club gets the money is because they go out and put pallets down on the tracks down on Underwood Bridge. They also do a lot of trimming and maintenance repairs. They did where was that location, Billy, that they did out by Fish Creek?
The washout?
Yeah,
Oh, Old Ponds?
Yeah, near the washout.
in the whole pond.
And there was three that were down before IPs.
Yeah, and they got a group of volunteers out to take care of some good washouts, and that was one of the questions when the grooming came up this weekend is were the washouts ready for the groomer to go across? Because if they're not, A, we don't wanna risk the person first, equipment second, in those washouts. So that was all taken care of though.
Can I ask a question? Are snowmobiles allowed on the road?
In Tupper Lake, if you look at the Franklin County, I believe all the village streets are designated as snowmobile streets in Tupper Lake.
What about the town?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
if
only
we-
asking because there are snowmobiles go on Sunmount, which it says no snowmobiles, but snowmobiles go on Sunmount and they're crossing the road all the time.
Always have. Always have. They always have that.
Can't get to,
There-
you can't get to the Sunmount sewer line.
Is that,
There used to be designated snowmobile roads.
and they're not, now all the village roads are not snowmobile?
The village roads,
Yeah.
yes, but the town
Used to be
to,
McLaughlin, right?
the town used to have
There were
certain
there were marked
designated
signs.
roads.
And we don't have?
It's been so long, I think it's been let go.
Oh, so, but the county roads is McLaughlin a county designated one, do you know?
I don't know that for certain.
Yeah. It used to be, well,
As long
either it
as,
used to be or everybody used it like it used to be.
snowmobiles, they don't really get any trouble as long as they're using the road cautiously.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't think
Fall-
there's any
falling
snowmobiles that can drive up and down on the state road either.
No, you can cross it.
So in front of your house, if there's one on the,
You're
you'd have to
allowed
out
to
state
cross
roads.
it.
You can cross it.
not-
They
You
mainly
can't
cross
go-
it to go onto Sunmount.
Yeah, and they're not supposed to be on Sunbelt.
Well,
That's-
I know that because the signs say no snowmobiles all over the place.
Yeah.
But I know on the Long Lake Road, they groomed and they go out around culverts and bridges
Yes.
along the shoulder of the highway.
Yeah.
John, there was like a lot more, I noticed that there's a lot more grooming on the state corridor and the state right of way than ever I've ever seen. It makes one grooming.
Yeah,
Same thing on the Potsdam.
yeah.
They do the same.
Finally got some snow to them.
So Patty, do you need a motion to move?
Yes, on the
I'll
snowmobile.
make a motion to approve the snowmobile agreement with Franklin County.
Thank you.
Second?
Second, John. Roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye.
The next item is to approve a resolution for audit of court records for fiscal year ending 2019. We have those up on the table in the supervisor's office, and I believe we have 4 signatures or 3 on that. That were approved.
I reviewed them yesterday, so I'll move it.
Mike,
I'd look at it too. Second?
John, roll call vote.
Aye.
Aye. Town of Tupper Lake was awarded a JCAP grant. That's the, what is the J?
Justice Court Assistance
Justice
Program.
and Assistance, no wait, the CJA.
Justice Court Assistance Program.
Okay.
I think there's an extra A by mistake.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we got a nice grant, once again, for the courtroom and the use of it. And we are gonna get the floors done, we're gonna get some new flags back here for the judge.
Do I read that right, that for 2 flags, it's almost $400?
They're very cool flags.
They must be.
Awesome.
Made out of the finest silk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
And
know,
with gold and silk.
in 2001, when we got attacked by, the Twin Towers were attacked, I bought a flag and I paid over $100 for a cotton flag that was 5 by 8
Back then.
back then.
Things are
They're not, they're expensive.
And we're also gonna get a thing for the wall. Yeah. And these floors, where the addition is, there's some raw hardwood and some raw hardwood over here. And then this floor will get another renewal coat, so we'll get all that done. So it was nice that we, Lori does a good job making that application for the court. And
How much was the grant?
$18,193.45.
Nice flags for that.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you.
This is the 3rd time, right? 3rd or 4th?
oh boy, we've been getting them every year for a while now. Cause the very first one we ever got, I think, Lori, right, was to help with the, one of the rooms at the emergency services building.
Yes, with the village.
Yep, we got that first year when they built the new building. And, we jointly applied with the village to make a room for, in the event that the judge needed to do business down there at the police station. And, then we've gotten, these floors have been redone once, we've gotten lots of, equipment in the judge's office.
The pews were redone.
Yep, all these pews were redone.
Do we have to make a motion on anything like this, but it's just announced?
No, it's just an announcement.
Okay.
10.5, we sent out a notice last month at our board meeting that we had a resignation of Gary Lanthier from the Board of Assessment Review, and notified anyone and if they would like to apply or participate in the Board of Assessment Review and help us with that committee. We have one interested party sent an email to us, Jerry Goldman. He has an interest in participating on that, and we're happy to have him make that offer. We'd like to accept his interest in filling the vacancy on the board now, so that we can get him signed up for his annual training prior to grievance day coming in May. So I'm not quite sure when that day, I think it's usually like the early part of May that training is. half a day in Malone, you gotta go, and each bar member has to go, I believe every 3 years, Lori, they go for that training? I know it's not every year.
No, it's not every year.
I wanna say every
Yeah,
3 years,
probably.
cause I think I went to it a couple times and I was on the bar for 4 years. So, could we please, get
I'll move that we appoint or railroad Jerry Goldman
That's a good one.
to the Board of Assessment Review.
Before he can change his mind.
That's right.
I'll second it.
Mike. Roll call vote?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye. I think Jerry will make a fine member to that board. He will complement the people who are already on it. He's very much educated in the world of assessment after being a school superintendent for many years in Saranac Lake. And on another note, Jerry's the vice president of Tupper Lake Golf Club Board of Directors and does a really good job of helping those guys manage that board. And he's been very helpful in improving what's happening at the Tupper Lake Golf Club together with all the fine board members that they are a good group up there. Jerry will make a great addition to this board, and we're thankful for him offering his services.
Who else is on that board? Is Fred Schiller still on?
No, Fred Schiller's not on that one. He's on the, I wanna say he's still on the CBA.
George Harriman.
George Harriman,
Gillis.
John Gillis.
Did Tony just get on that?
Is Tony on?
Tony Quinn is he on the bar or the ZBA?
I thought it was the bar.
Maybe the bar. And, you said it was Gary, George, John. Oh, Dan Bauer is on it, yeah.
Would you say George Harriman,
Yeah.
John Gillis, Tony Quinn, Dan Bauer?
Yeah.
And now Jerry Golden.
Jerry.
Is that 5? That's it, there's 5. Yeah. So we'll sign him up for training in Malone and get him to work.
Good.
10.6, approve the town clerk and deputy to attend a conference in Albany, August 26th to the 29th this year, or April 26th to the 29th, 2020.
That's the annual conference.
Yeah.
Moved.
Second?
Roll call vote.
Aye?
Aye.
And finally, 10.7 to authorize execution of this 30-day advance notice to local municipalities, and this is in regards to the application for the liquor permit for what will be known as the Lookout Bar and Grill at Tupper Lake LLC.
I'll move that we approve that liquor license. Now what we're doing.
I'll just read this pre-requirement that Kirk prepared that will go along with this application. The town of Tupper Lake recognizes the proposed on-premises liquor license application of the Lookout Bar and Grill at the Tupper Lake LLC, or at Tupper Lake LLC, for premises located at 141 Country Club Road, Tupper Lake, New York, and has received an attached standardization notice form for providing 30-day advance notice to a local municipality or community board, and waives the notice requirement and any future requirement for any amendment to such notice. So that's officially what this is.
I just have a quick question. There's no ballpark license? That's for the,
This is for the restaurant.
right, but they usually, I was just curious.
I don't think we've ever done that, Mary, up there.
It's for the beer cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Just out of curiosity.
But, and perhaps the club, cause
No,
who ran the beer cart before? Was it the
the
club or the
restaurant
bar?
ran it, and they were going to, the club was going to, but they're not, they're gonna have him do
So
that.
they need to look into that then?
I would ask Kirk, but that's
Okay.
something that's, usually have to get a separate license for.
Okay.
Ballpark license.
Ballpark license?
Yeah.
That's what it's called, yeah. Because I did ask that at the last meeting. If they were.
Yeah, we-
if their plans were
sometimes,
they were gonna run it out of the pro shop, but.
Yeah,
they decided-
it goes back and forth, whoever operates that. So we have a,
Be nice to see it run.
motion, did we get a motion?
I made a motion.
Mike. Second, Mary. Roll call vote.
Alright.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone. Finally, we are at number 11 for further public comment. Would anyone else like to address the board for 3 minutes?
Talk for 3 minutes. Jimmy, you're good for 3 minutes anytime.
Madeline? Nothing? Quiet month.
There we go.
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Could I please have a motion to adjourn?
Move. Second.
Third.
Madeline has some